Hey guys, welcome to the show. 888-659-3727. Great to be here. Sorry if we started a couple of minutes late, but that's what happens when Andrew Zarian comes to my studio, comes to Los Angeles to visit me here at the Vulture Studios.
I did nothing wrong.
You did.
I did nothing.
Well, first of all, he had us drinking this afternoon. He did Want to Tech here from our studio. And, you know, the one shot that I don't know if we actually have set up right now is the side-by-side, which is not good.
So you got to do it manually.
I may have to do it manually.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my God.
It's all right. We don't need a side-by-side.
I mean, but I have to keep going like this every time you talk. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, guys, if you're just tuning in for the first time, don't know who I am, why I'm here, this is the Hair Loss Show. This is the Bald Truth. We do this program each and every week live from my home studio here in Los Angeles. And tonight's going to be, I think, a pretty special show. I mean, I didn't even know if I should even talk about this. It's up to Andrew, actually, if he wants to talk about it.
No, let's talk about it, 100%.
All right. Well, Andrew has been considering using Propecia for a long time. If you don't know who Andrew Zarian is the founder of the Guys from Queens Network. And
could I get some more?
You want more audio?
Yeah, please.
What's happening?
I'm a little deaf.
Okay, let's see. This should be you, right? How's that?
I don't think that was me.
Is that not you?
No.
Okay, where are you? How's
there
this?
You go. Oh, my God, that's good.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Perfect?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you can see, we just kind of like jerry-rigged this whole situation. We don't even have our side-by-side shot set up because we weren't sure if we were going to do the show live tonight, but we decided, you know what, why not do it live? And, you know, Andrew came here to obviously help me with my studio, but he also came here because he wanted to take his first dose of Propecia live on the air here at the Bald Truth.
I have it right here.
So Andrew,
there it is.
Tell me, you know, I mean, honestly, when most people look at you, they look at you as a guy with a full head of hair.
Sure.
You've obviously been dealing with some hair loss to some degree. You've been talking to me about it for a while. I mean, what's making you take the plunge?
It's less growing hair. It's more preventing the hair from falling out. So I want to keep what I have, and the only medicine out there is Propecia.
You know, but what about all these guys who, and there's a lot of concern online, and obviously I get a lot of people who've contacted me over the years who are very concerned about, you know, what's being posted about Propecia in the last 5 or 6 years. You know, when I started to use the drug back in the, you know, in the early days of the hair loss world, where there was treatments that actually would, you know, when I started dealing with hair loss back in 1987, 1988, there really wasn't much out there. And when I started to use Finasteride in 1994, it was a really big step. Now, there were doctors who told me back then that it could, you know, possibly cause long-term adverse effects. They didn't know if they'd be like feminizing issues with it. But now you see a lot of stuff online from guys who believe they are suffering with long-term adverse side effects from the drug.
And there's fact behind it, right? I mean, Merck has done their own study, and they've shown that a small percentage of men in that isolated study, that small study that they did have adverse side effects.
Well, it wasn't even that small of a study, but yeah, during the clinical data, obviously there's a small percentage of side effects that they have you know, been presenting online and, you know, through their product inserts and through all the medical literature for a long time. But after those initial adverse side effects, after their initial trial, years have gone by, and now they changed the packet inserts saying that there are a subset of guys that may experience long-term side effects after they discontinue using the drug. Now, there's no clinical data showing that, but these are reports that they've had, so they have to state them. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Listen, I think there's a lot of facts behind it. I think there are men who have had erectile dysfunction because of finasteride and a slew of other issues, but I don't think it's the percentage that the internet represents. There's so many people out there that are screaming and yelling that these are the side effects, and, you know, I took it for 2 weeks and it stopped. I had all these problems, and you know, it ruined my sex life. It ruined I mean, to the point that people are claiming that they lost size.
Yes.
And this is how I see it. We have to look at who was in the study. Who are the men taking this medication? Majority of the men taking it are older.
Yeah, but I don't mean to kind of correct you, but I'm going to correct you. You know, during the clinical trials, during the studies, to be honest with you, I mean, if you're looking at the actual study, it's a very small percentage of guys who are suffering with adverse side effects.
Very small.
Clinically. All of the stuff that's been coming out over the last few years have been anecdotal. The evidence, the information, the reports have been anecdotal. There is no causal effect when it comes to long-term adverse side effects when it comes to the use of finasteride. However, there is no doubt that there is a subset of guys who seem to be suffering with these pretty significant side effects. Now, with that said, I say this all the time, there is no doubt that there is something to be said about the mass hysteria effect that can be caused by people reading this information. That is a very real...
Absolutely, 100%.
Placebo effect is a very real effect.
But Spence, I don't believe that the people that are saying... obviously, there's a placebo effect. There are people that are psychologically damaged from this, and they're going to be suffering from these issues because of what they've read. But I do believe that these people that are on the medication are suffering from these adverse side effects. I don't think it's adverse side effects from the medication. I honestly believe that it's adverse side effects from everything else happening in their lives. I mean, you have to look at their age, their health, their sex life. There's so much to put into account as to what's causing this to happen.
Look, I don't disagree, but you know, here's the thing. I've been talking about my use of finasteride for almost 17 or 18 years on the radio, through my books, through my websites. And there are a lot of people who believe they've been harmed by this drug. So I have gotten shit over the years about just basically talking about my experience, saying that I've had a positive experience using this drug. I think it is going to be pretty compelling for people to kind of watch your experience on the drug. You know that I know that all of the people in my life, my friends, my peers who have decided to give finasteride a try, have all had success with the drug without any adverse side effects.
I know plenty of people that have taken it and they've had no... I mean, one of my friends, which is a doctor, is fully aware of all these side effects. He's been on it for 2.5 years, and he's never experienced any of these. Nor does he know anybody that he has recommended this to, which he's the one who gave me the prescription, has had any kind of adverse side effects.
So, I mean, that's what's fascinating about this whole phenomenon. And again, this is not to take away from those who are really honestly dealing with adverse side effects from this drug. All drugs have the potential for side effects.
Absolutely.
But when you read about using finasteride or giving finasteride a try on, say, the message forum, say, on baldtruthtalk.com, for instance, I mean, it is looked at by some, especially the younger guys, as complete poison. And a lot of these guys really aren't giving themselves the best possible chance to really keep their hair based on these assumptions. Now, with that said, I think it's important for everyone to know that if I would have read all the information that was online about finasteride back when I started taking it many moons ago, almost 20 years ago, I probably wouldn't be taking the drug based on what you read online. Because it would scare the shit out of me.
I mean, listen, there are millions of women worldwide that are taking birth control. I don't hear people calling into radio shows screaming about how it's ruining their marriage because their wives won't have sex with them anymore.
Well, that's actually a really good point. And what a lot of people don't understand is, the incidence of adverse sexual side effects from the use of oral contraceptives is huge. Very large percentage of women suffer with
humongous
issues with orgasms, issues with becoming aroused. And in some cases, it has been reported that women who have stopped using the drug after years of use have never fully recovered. So it's the same type of situation, but it just isn't talked about.
No, and it's not talked about because it's valued differently. The majority of people that are vocal on the internet are men.
Right.
So you're going to have more men complaining about things like that. It's not affecting men, really. When their wives don't want to have sex with them, it's not about, oh, my wife is on the pill and that's why. It's about my wife is being a pain in the ass and she's not into sex.
I agree 100%. And here's the thing. I think that we actually may have been kicked offline somehow because I don't see the feed.
I think we were.
So let's get it back. Guys, if anyone on hold, we are still on the air. We're just having some problems with the feed, so let's see what we can do here.
I think it looks great.
Anyway, guys, thank you for holding on. Sorry for the technical problems. We just kind of ran into the studio. We weren't sure if we were going to do the show live tonight or not, but I decided why not. Andrew Zarian, is considering taking. I mean, he says he's going to do it, and honestly, dude, I don't want you to do it just for the sake of this broadcast.
I'm not doing it for the broadcast. I'm telling you that right now. I'm doing it because, I want to take it. I think it's time, and the reason why I'm taking it is to prevent further hair loss from happening.
Well, listen, I have to say, when I started using the drug, I was relatively early on in my hair loss. I have been taking it for over 20 years. I'm going to be 50 years old in about 6 months. So there's no doubt that it has helped me. I would not be behind this microphone if it wasn't for ProScar, because that is really what kind of gave me the strength. After I did all my research, and I said, what, I'm going to really, I want to kind of expose the industry. I want to write a book about my experiences. What really set that in stone and set me in motion to move forward with all this is because I had success with Finasteride. So I wanted to kind of tell the world that there is something that you can do about your hair loss.
And listen, I know the risks. Let me just say this: I did take Finasteride years ago, but it was for a very short period of time. It wasn't a long-term commitment. I wasn't educated on the medication, and that's probably the reason why I took it.
Right.
Because, listen, anybody that goes on this medication is doing the research now, and the second they start seeing all these side effects, they're going to be scared to take it.
Of course they're going to be scared. I would be scared. I would not have taken this drug after reading all the shit that's online. There's no doubt. I cannot blame these guys for being shit scared to take it. I cannot blame what's being written about the drug on the internet. If I would have taken this drug and had this in my mind and my junk did not work,
that would be it. The one drunk night that you had.
I would have been all over the internet just like these guys, so I cannot fault them for doing what they're doing. I do think it's unfortunate, though, when guys are considering taking it, they've made the decision, and then there are guys out there who are they're so adamant about stopping anybody from taking the drug. It makes it very difficult for people to make that decision. But with that said, I get why they're doing it, so I can't blame them. So listen, we have a phone call.
All right, let's take it.
Let's take a call. And
Talk
again,
me down a little in the headphones.
Guys, sure. You tell me how it is. How is that?
It's good. Yeah, okay. Yeah, much better.
And I apologize for the technical problems, but again, we weren't sure if we were going to do the live show. We went out drinking this afternoon, so let's see how everything works out. Let's see who this is. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this, and where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm Sam Peak. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri.
Hey, Sam. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Good. How are you doing?
I'm not bad. I can't complain.
Great. So I just discovered your show like a week ago, kind of like through the internet, and so I wanted to ask you. I've been losing my hair since I was 18, like just got out of high school. I just noticed like all this hair just falling out. I'm 22 now. I've been on Rogaine for about 3.5 years. That delayed it a little bit.
Sure.
Like a week ago, I decided that I went to my doctor, got Finasteride, which was really shocking. Like that, because I did all the research and all the side effects. There's a lot of controversy supposedly behind it.
Right.
But the doctor just wrote me he just.
Well, let me ask you what was shocking about your doctor writing the script for you?
Oh, well, it was just kind of like, I thought that we were going to have this talk about it, but it was just writing a prescription and that was it. Like, he didn't even mention the side effects or anything like that.
Well, that's shocking that he didn't mention the side effects. But, this is the thing, and I think it's important if you know that. As far as the clinical data, as far as what's written about the drug in the PDR, the physician's desk reference, as far as what physicians see in their practice, they are not seeing what's being written online in general.
But I don't think a lot of them are fully aware of the side effects.
Well, I think they're aware of the clinical side effects, the stuff that's been printed in clinical data in the journals, but they're not necessarily online reading what's happening in the message forums, and they're not looking at Propecia side effects because they work on clinical data. Now, with that said, I personally don't think that most doctors want to put their patients in harm's way. So in his mind, he believes it's a very safe drug. So you kind of have to give him the benefit of the doubt when it comes to that. I am surprised he didn't mention any adverse side effects because clinically there is an incident. There can be a small incidence of sexual side effects, and they can be pretty devastating for some guys.
But I mean, Spence, in all seriousness, though, when you go to a doctor and you get any kind of medication, do they sit down and tell you all the side effects, the clinical side effects? When you go and get a pain pill, do they tell you that you may become addicted to opiates?
Well, not your doctors, but there
None
are
of my doctors.
yeah, but there are doctors. There are doctors who will. So I think it's important that you're aware of the potential adverse side effects. But I don't think, and this is just my personal opinion, that it should completely cripple you as far as making a decision. You know, look at the data and figure it out.
Yeah, well, this is my next question because like I want to talk like I took one pill like last week and I immediately felt side effects. I heard, but this is just on message boards, so obviously I can't, attest to the reliability. It's a lot of it's bullshit, I think. But but some people say that when you experience the side effects, it just takes you a while to get used to it, and then your body can adjust to it. But I already felt like. No. Numbness in like my genitals, my hands, my feet, a coldness.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, listen. Now let me ask you a question. And I'm not saying that this is psychosomatic because it could be very real, but just so you know, and it's important that you know this. For many years that I've been on the air, and I wrote The Bald Truth in 1998, and people have been contacting me forever about their use of finasteride. None of these immediate side effects ever occurred. It really has been only about the last 6 to 8 years that I've heard kind of, some anecdotal stories like this. And usually they have been from people who've read about the adverse side effects. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible, but you have to understand that one dose of finasteride really isn't going to lower your DHT levels that much. So not saying that's not possible that you suffered from these adverse side effects, but it's also possible that you may have been thinking about it a little bit too much. But with that said, you're right. A lot of guys have transient side effects. When they first start taking the drug, they experience some testicular pain. They experience maybe a lowered amount of ejaculant. They experience a lower libido.
And then the other week, I'm not making a joke. My right testicle was hurting me.
Yeah, well, that's pretty common.
I went on this medication last week, which I had the prescription. I didn't take it.
Right.
If I had this last week,
well,
wouldn't I say, well, you know what? Freaking pill, I took it, and now my nuts are hurting.
Well, you would.
I would.
Of course you would, yeah. But it doesn't mean the fact this guy may actually be suffering from some bizarre. He may be in that subset of guys who cannot take this drug. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, have you heard any of these side effects? Like your hand and your feet get cold.
I've never heard. I've been doing this for 20 years. I've never heard that. I've read some really bizarre accounts from guys who have written stuff online, but you don't know where it's coming from. But clinically, and as far as through all the physicians who have prescribed this drug, I've never heard of that side effect. But I have read about side effects like that.
Yeah. Immediately after I started feeling these side effects, I Googled, finasteride, my, cold extremities, and then all these things came up. And
yeah, you should do Google aspirin with the same side effect, or Google Cipro with the same side effect. Google oxycodone with the same side effect. I can guarantee you're going to find probably just as many accounts. These things happen with just about every drug. So, listen, it's very possible that, you can't take this drug, and you should talk to your doctor about that. Okay. I want you to do well with it, and I think that, if you're willing to continue to try it, you should talk to your doctor about that. I mean, do you think it's possible you were thinking about these adverse side effects and maybe there's some psychosomatic issue there?
I mean, I don't think so because I didn't even know that these side effects for this drug existed. I knew about sexual dysfunction, but not about these side effects I've been.
Or it could be something else. It's possible that it could be something else.
Well, the thing is, normally there's no drug interaction. So like he can be on, I don't know if you're on other medication, but normally you can kind of combine this with other medications and not have any type of adverse side effects.
I am on another medication. I'm on a Adderall. So I could try it again and take it without the Adderall, see if that makes a difference, I guess.
It's possible. I mean, did you have any sexual side effects?
I mean, my penis felt like kind of numb. I mean, it was very minor, but I could feel a numbness. You know, I noticed when I started urinating, and also that was another thing. It was like I had, you know, delayed urination as well as like retention
after one dose. That's wild.
Yeah,
that's why I'm not saying I don't believe you. I mean, that's wild. That's now you're scaring the shit out of Andrew.
Listen, my urine is already delayed.
Experiences.
No. Listen, I think your experience. I think it's important that you're talking about.
Yeah, I think it's great that it goes out there and is public because there may be other people that are. I mean, it's possible that it is the medication, and it's possible that it's not, and it could be. You just said you're on Adderall. It could be an adverse side effect to Adderall and this medication combined. I mean, that's totally possible.
Perhaps, yeah. Is the generic? Is it more prone to side effects than the brand name like Prostar, or it's the brand name Propecia?
Well, it's interesting. It's interesting that you say that because each generic has different fillers.
Which I was going to ask him if he's taking a generic.
Yeah, each generic has different fillers. Some generics may not have the exact, the correct dosage of finasteride, allegedly, but each generic actually has different compounds and fillers. So it's possible that you're having an adverse reaction to one of the fillers or one of the extra compounds in the generic. It's possible if you took the brand name, you wouldn't have these side effects, or if you took another brand of generic, say, Teva versus, some other brand of generic, it's possible you wouldn't have these side effects either. So, I mean, that's a good question.
Do you know which generic you're taking?
It's Finasteride from like Dr. Reddy's. I don't really.
Well, Dr.
know
Reddy, actually, that's actually a pretty good product. So I don't know what the fillers are, but you can actually look them up, and you can go to either his website or site, or maybe even drugs.com or drugstore.com, and look up the fillers, and see what if they're different than they are in Proscar. But I have to say, if you're willing to try it again, great. But if you really believe, that you've had, you're telling me that you had these adverse side effects, then maybe. You have to kind of weigh the benefit versus the risks. If it's something that, right, so you got off the drug, you took it once. Now, how do you feel now?
I feel completely fine.
Okay. So,
no side effects.
Are you willing to try it again?
Yeah, I am. I'm willing to try, like, similar products too. Like, I was going to consult my doctor. I haven't yet, but I would take, maybe the brand name, or I'd take Avodart, anything if my body can respond favorably to it.
Well, the thing is,
that doesn't work.
Jumping onto Avodart, I mean, if you're having adverse side effects from a 5-alpha reductase type 2 inhibitor, really throwing Avodart at it before trying the brand name would probably be a mistake in my view. So if you're willing to move forward and try a brand, then give the brand a try.
Which I have the brand, by the way. I'm not taking a generic. I'm taking a brand name.
Right. And you're taking brand name Propecia.
Propecia.
Yeah.
Are you both taking Propecia brand name?
I take brand name Proscar.
Oh, okay.
So I actually I actually take a 5 milligram dose once a week.
Oh, okay.
So I started taking. I actually started when I was way younger, taking 5 milligrams every day. I actually went all the way up to a 7.5 milligram dose at one point.
So what were you doing? You were cutting the 5?
I was cutting 5, in half. And I initially thought, before these, the shedding periods or the telogen effluviums were written about, I was kind of taking it before everyone else was taking it. I kind of thought that the drug stopped working for me. So I upped my dosage after about 6 months of usage to 7.5 milligrams. Even at that high dosage, for me, I had no adverse side effects.
Is that common for people to take that high of a...
It's not common at all. I did it, I spoke to my doctor about it, but it wasn't prescribed at that high of a dose. But I was fine with it. And then eventually I kind of the shedding stopped and I lowered my dosage. And then I read about, taking certain drugs using intermittent therapy. And after I was on it for about 5 years, I started to kind of lessen the dosage and just, kind of skip days, to the point where I've been able to maintain my hair for the most part on one 5 milligram tablet once a week. So that's what I do. I think everybody's different. A lot of doctors will say it's not dose dependent. I've had doctors on this program who thought I was crazy. They're like, why would you just take it once a week? But if you understand DHT and you know about the drug, I mean, it does make sense, at least to me, and for me, it's worked. So what you might want to do is you might want to talk to your doctor about starting with a lower dose. When you get on, get the brand name and maybe cut that brand name Propecia in half and start with a 0.5 milligram a day, just to kind of build your body, get your body used to it, and maybe you won't have the adverse side effects.
Do you think something like saw palmetto would be beneficial for him?
Thing is, saw palmetto is, it lowers DHT naturally, supposedly. And, I wrote an entire chapter about herbal supplementation and hair loss back when I really believed that herbal supplementation could help with hair loss. I've kind of changed my tune over the years. And the thing is, herbs like saw palmetto, pygeum africanum, and stinging nettle still come from nature's pharmacy. They still have effects on your body. So if you don't really understand the dosing, you don't know exactly how much you're getting because this is all unregulated stuff, you could still have sexual side effects. So I think taking a synthesized drug, in my view, is probably safer because at least you know how much you're putting in your body. But again, that's just my opinion. I'm not a doctor.
Right.
So, as far as I'm concerned, from what you're telling me, I believe that you had, real side effects, but maybe by changing the pill or lowering the dosage, you won't experience the same thing. You can give it another shot.
Yeah, okay, I will. I'll talk to my doctor about it, but I'll definitely pursue it.
Yeah, and again, I'm not a physician, so you should definitely talk to your doctor about it. I'm sorry that you experienced the adverse side effects. I guess we'll find out tomorrow how Andrew feels.
I'm going to start convulsing on the floor once I take it. I'm going to throw myself, going into shock. I'm going to take this at the top of the hour, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's do a little build-up.
Yeah, and you have to take it with water, not beer.
Why?
Just
right.
I really would not want you to drink it with beer.
You wouldn't want me to drink it?
Not on the show, no.
Not on the show.
No. All right, man. Well, listen, if you have any questions, feel free. Let us know. Keep us updated and let us know how you do.
All right, I will. Thank you guys for your help.
All right.
Thanks for
good
the
luck,
call.
man. Take care.
All right. You too.
All right.
See, that's scary. And I believe that he is suffering from some sort of side effect from something.
I agree.
No
one wants a numb dick.
Nobody wants a numb dick.
Yeah.
That's the last thing. That's the last thing someone wants. But we have to look at. I mean, I told you I had a pain in my right testicle last week. Yeah. If I was on this medication,
it's very, very common, by the way. Pain in your right. It was the top of the testicle.
I can't remember.
Okay.
But it hurt.
Yeah.
And I had this prescription.
Usually, a pain on top of your testicle. It's called epididymitis, and it's a swelling of the epididymis, which is the tubing that actually goes from your testicles and that helps you to produce sperm.
Maybe I'm not producing sperm.
No, that's a very common place to have a swelling or pain.
So, but if I was on this medication, which I had the prescription last week, it's even sealed. I haven't even opened it. I would have probably said, "Holy crap, these guys! This is happening. This is a side effect from this medication."
Sure.
Anything could happen. Where was he from? I mean,
Kansas City, I think.
Is it cold?
He's not in the air now.
Was it cold? Because sometimes when it's cold,
your dick gets numb.
Your dick gets numb.
Yeah, that's happened to me. No, but I believe these side effects are very real. There's no doubt, and that's why I even told you. What did I say to you when you said you were going to take it? How did I approach it? Was I like, just dude, make sure you want to take it, right?
That's and you've been asking me all day.
Yeah.
Do you want to do this? Are you doing it for the show? Don't do it for the show. Do it because you want to take it. I want to take it.
Right.
And I thought I would, you guys would pop my cherry. I would no longer be a virgin when it comes to Finasteride, and I would have my first experience live on the air.
Well, but it's not really your first experience because you did try it before.
I tried it. I got the tip in. That's what it was.
Guys, listen, we are free to take your calls. Phone number is 888-659-3727. I apologize for not having the program announced that we're going live tonight on Bald Truth Talk message forums or through Twitter, whatever. We were actually out having a couple of drinks, having some pizza, and we're like, let's do this show.
Yeah, I think this is something that a lot of people they're scared to do.
Of course they are.
And I'm not doing this. I'm doing it kind of as a bit, obviously, to come on here and take it. But I also want people to not be scared to experience it.
Right.
These permanent side effects. It's a rarity. I mean, it really is a rarity. I've looked at the studies. I've looked at the complaints, and I've done my research. I mean, I've been involved with this show for 5 years now.
Jesus.
The long-term side effect for the placebo and for the actual study, the people taking medication, it was identical.
Yeah, I mean it was very close.
Very close.
Yeah, and there's about a
By the way,
0.5 differential.
The ProScar experience.
Right. Well, ProScar actually, I mean, there's a higher incidence of adverse side effects with ProScar. Now, I will tell you that most of the guys my age, my peers, the guys that have I've turned on to using the drug, who've read my book, guys that I grew up with, they all are using ProScar. So they are using the 5 milligram dosage. You know, you met my my consigliere. He's actually been on the show,
Yeah.
Raphael.
Yeah.
And he's been on 5 milligrams. He takes the entire 5 milligram dosage 7 days a week.
Wow.
He's been on it for 15 years. He had a kid. He's with a much younger woman. He has no adverse sexual side effects, and he feels really great. But is that to say that, both of us aren't going to suffer from some, bizarre form of cancer or something? I don't know. I have no clue.
So Mike in Canada in the chat room has a very interesting question. He goes, "Howdy, Spencer and Andrew. I was wondering if there's any evidence that having surgery / taking pain pills could cause shedding. Recently had elbow surgery and have been shedding quite a bit more."
That's a good question, Mike. And yes, you can actually suffer from something known as telogen effluvium from anesthesia during surgery, and also just from the trauma of surgery. Now, I don't know if you were under general anesthesia during your surgery, but that can be a cause of a shedding phase. And also the painkillers themselves, coupled with the surgery, can throw you into a telogen effluvium. Usually it's going to be temporary.
I should be bald by now.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're very lucky, by the way. But usually that should be temporary, especially if you stop taking the pain medication in time. But it can be very devastating and very difficult to deal with. So, you can see a doctor and make, to check for miniaturization of the hair follicle. But if you're not really miniaturizing and you're just shedding, there's a good chance that hair will come back once the trauma has passed. But sometimes it could take up to a year. So that's a good question. Let's take a phone call. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hi, Spencer. This is Dave Artista, the Chicago land area.
Hey, Dave, man. How are you? Now, I know why you're calling,
fine.
Dave, because you heard that Andrew is going to pop his first ProScar pill, Propecia pill tonight.
Oh, really? No, I just
I
started
guess that's not why you
I guess
called.
that's not. I'm not the draw here.
Jesus.
I've been on Finasteride for a year and a half now, and I haven't had any adverse side effects from it, aside from a lessening of my sperm count.
Well, it may not be your sperm count. It may just be the volume of your ejaculant. The vast majority of your ejaculant is seminal fluid. It's not necessarily sperm. So you can have the same number of sperm, but you just not have as much fluid. You're not going to be shooting ropes. That's all. Not a big deal.
But I mean,
Exactly.
but again, how much water are you drinking?
I drink lots of water every day. Every day.
Is it that much of a concern for you where it affects, how you feel about it? I mean, there are ways that you could increase that, like zinc.
Yeah, but who cares?
For some people care about it.
Does
right?
it affect your feeling during orgasm, or is it just like you're just
possible.
not
You can do that.
you're just not shooting as much?
No, I just not shooting as much. But everything else is fine. I've not been worried about it. Not really had a concern. I take it like a multivitamin and get it off my mind right away.
Yeah, dude. That's the way I'm going to take mine tonight. I'm going to take my 5 milligram dose tonight, and that's what I usually take it on Tuesdays.
I'm taking mine in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And by the way, hi, Andrew.
Hey, what's going on?
Now, how weird is it to see Andrew in my studio?
No, I think it's cool.
I'm here like every other month.
Yeah, it's getting scary, actually.
I have my own
Nothing
bedroom
wrong.
now.
So anyways, I've been on Finasteride for a year and a half, and I do have more volume. I think I've sent you some photographs, Spencer, right?
Yes, more hair volume, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. And, of course, I'll use, what do you call that? What is kabuki called?
They're keratin hair fibers.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a natural supplement, right?
Well, it's not a supplement. It's made from keratin, but they're also dyed. So there could be some silicone to kind of make it easy to sprinkle. So it's possible there's some some people are concerned about breathing that stuff in. But I've used that kind of stuff for years, and look at me. You know, I may be nuts, but you know, I'm pretty healthy.
I've been pretty impressed with Kabuki. You know, I've tried topics before that. I like Kabuki. It seems to be a lot more worthwhile.
A lot of people like it better than Topic. And, you know, I mean, I used Topic for a long time. I think it's a great company. Spencer Forrest Inc. Has nothing to do with me. I have no stock in the company. And, you know, it's funny because of the name Spencer, people have kind of connected that to me for a long time. I always get crazy emails thinking that I'm the Topic guy.
Oh, that's really funny.
But the actual guy who owns Spencer Forrest, his name is, what is his name? Mark Kress. He's a nice guy as well. But yeah, I've heard some great things about Kabuki, and I've used Dermatch. That's what I use. So, I mean, to each their own. You know, whatever makes them feel good.
Yes, exactly. And it's because of the finasteride that I've been using. I've been able to reuse this. You know, I was using it prior to going on finasteride, and after a while, it was like a lost cause. You know, there was no reason to use Topics or anything else. And then when I got on this finasteride, it was amazing. After maybe 4 months, you could see a difference.
Well, you know what's going to be interesting about this program? There will be people who watch this show, and they're going to be fucking pissed that we are talking about our great experiences with finasteride.
No.
And
I could be on here in a month, Spence, and I could talk about how awful it was.
That's right. You know, Jess can come on and and say, Jesus Christ, he couldn't have sex with me, and it was horrible, and or you can say it's the greatest thing I've ever done for myself.
Yeah.
Like Artista.
How much hair do you think you've gained? If you were to say how much of a percentage, what would you say?
Well, like a Norwood, I don't know. What would you say, Spencer? You've seen the photos.
I definitely think that there's no doubt that there's increased density overall. So you had some miniaturized hairs on top that, you know, were obviously getting wispier and wispier. I don't know if you actually increased on a Norwood scale significantly because the hair was already there. It just kind of like got dense. It got more dense. So it appears that you may have lost, you know, a Norwood scale. So maybe you went from a 3 to, you know, or 3A to a 3 or something like that.
That's great.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Andrew.
Or I should say, a 3. I should say a 3V to a 3.
By the way, I've been drinking a lot of red wine tonight. So.
Oh, good for you. We were drinking tequila and having pizza.
Man, that was good. I want to go back to that place.
We probably will.
That's so cool. That's so cool. And you know, I was
what's happening with Joe, by the way? I mean, because obviously he's not calling the program. I know he doesn't want to have anything to do with Andrew Zarian.
He hates me.
He despises you.
Well, I think I can't really say. I can't tell you what he's been telling me.
Yeah, that's okay.
Joe, I'm sure you're listening, Joe. So I'm not going to share.
Well, first of all, you should certainly keep his confidence, and I admire that. That's what you should definitely do that. But you know, I think you know, I'm sure Joe is listening. But you know, what's interesting about Joe is, you know, I've really done my best to help him over the years, and you know, sometimes I honestly believe this. And Joe, if you're listening, I kind of think he takes it for granted. That's all I'm going to say.
It's possible. You know, it seemed at some point, that I was giving him pretty good advice. He seemed to be getting better, as you've noticed. And recently, it seems our conversations, he's been, I don't know, possibly falling back a little bit.
I think Joe's a little jealous of our relationship.
Yeah. That's why he hates you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to wear me as a mask.
Well, once Joe starts making me some money, we'll have the exact same relationship.
Yeah, that's how it works.
There you go.
That's all it is.
Of course, there are those out there that would want to know why you don't talk more about these future treatments. And I would say to them that the reason is you're being responsible as the bald truth guy. You have to be responsible. You can't be talking about future treatments that may or may not come to fruition, right?
Look, you know, the guys that want to discuss the future treatments, the guys that want to focus on the stuff that, you know, may never come to fruition are really the most desperate of the desperate. These are the guys who either have not done well on drugs, who refuse to either wear a hairpiece or move on with their life, and who are grasping at straws at this point. I have spent many years talking about potential future treatments or treatments in the pipeline. But the truth is, I think a lot of guys get confused, and they kind of they hang on to whatever I say or whatever's said on the show by Joe or whomever. The truth is, they're not living their lives, and I think Joe from Staten Island is a prime example of that. So I want to talk about what is working today, how people can move on with their lives, or how people can possibly treat themselves at this point. And there's no reason why they can't keep an eye on what's happening in the world of future treatments, and that's what Bald Truth Talk is about.
Yeah, I've always been quite concerned about the younger men, of course, because they're more vulnerable to, with hair loss, it destroys them.
But you know what else? What else goes into account here? Whenever you talk about the future treatment, Spence, what happens? The people that want you to talk about it call in, and they talk about how it's not going to work.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it's like Replacel.
Yeah.
You're talking about Replacel. I mean, when they were doing the study, and everybody would call in and say, "Well, it's not going to work, and if it does work, it's only 10% gain."
Well, that's actually a really good point. I was able to get these guys involved, and they were willing to participate in the forum. And then as soon as things didn't go the way that some of the forum guys or some of the guys who listened to the program thought they should go, all of a sudden they're calling the CEO of Replacel a piece of shit, and they're saying that it's all a scam and all this stuff. Why would they want to be involved? Even the guys from Histogen, I had an exclusive with them at one point, and they were willing to come out, post on the forum, and be involved with the broadcast. And then after a while, they spoke to me, and they were like, listen, we're just taking a lot of crap. Oh, man, your camera just went out. You got to plug that in, dude.
Which one?
Sorry, your camera. There's a plug over there. You see that? It's not plugged in. Sorry, guys. A little technical problem. And so it really turned off these big companies. What do you think about Katsuralis? Do you not think that he would be involved with what we do, or Ken Washenik from Adirans? He would have definitely been on the air talking about why your head's right in my camera about why Adirans wasn't going to be funded anymore, because he used to come on the show all the time. They don't want to deal with the bullshit.
Yeah.
So it's, why am I even going to talk about it? Why am I going to be bothered? I've interviewed some of the biggest names in the industry, and I kind of just decided I'm not going to do it anymore.
Well, you're here to help the people today.
That's right.
And the best way to do that is to talk about what's available today and what does best, overall.
Look, and I think it's important if people want to talk about, if Joe from Staten Island wants to call and talk about potential future treatments, that's wonderful. That's great. Right. I'm not going to focus on it, because you know what? As busy and as much traffic as Bald Truth Talk gets, it is still, compared to the people that listen to this broadcast, it is still a microcosm of those who are suffering from hair loss. And the vast majority of guys who are suffering from hair loss want to know what is available today, and they just want real help and advice. And really why I've done this show over the years, I think about it sometimes. Why do I do what I do? Because, when I was dealing with the initial throes of hair loss, there was no one to talk to. I couldn't talk about the emotional aspects of my hair loss. I couldn't talk about how it made me feel as a person, how it made me feel as a man, how it made me feel less than at times. That's what this program is about. If people want to talk about, nuances of future treatments and chemical compounds and all that shit, they can talk about that on the message forum. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah. It's so easy for the younger guys to hold their breath waiting for something to come along instead of jumping on something that would help them to a percentage, right?
I agree 100%. It's not even that it's easy. It's just that, there's a certain fear factor, obviously, and I get that. And then, guys like to commiserate. I get that too. That's what the forum is for, in a sense, Right. I mean, I think the forums are important. I also think that the guys that might be a little bit more reasonable at times, or who really understand what, that there's only a limited amount of options at this point, they should read the forums. They should be involved to some degree, but you can't take what's written on the forums as the gospel, because it's not.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you have to live for today. You got to accept what is for right now, and live your life. Can't hold back.
Yeah, but there's a lot of really unhappy, bitter guys on the message forums.
Yeah, I know.
I get it, and they're just miserable, man. They believe what they want to believe. They will post things. They'll defame people online. Doctors who are out there, researchers who are really trying to do their best to, to potentially find a cure or at least effective treatments, and they talk such shit about these people.
Yeah, it all has to do with not being able. Well, young men, they don't develop that wisdom yet that we do. Us getting older, you start developing wisdoms.
Well,
especially
you do,
when you're being objective.
But this is going to sound obnoxious, potentially, but I really felt that I had the wherewithal to step back from it all and kind of, I just understood it at an early age. I knew what it was about. I knew how research worked. I knew that things take a lot of time. I know that, someone finds for instance, a chemical compound that may help with a specific condition, that it can take decades to turn into an effective treatment for that condition, even if it may never come to fruition at all. So you can't hang your hat on that shit.
You can't hold your breath.
That's right.
Move forward and live.
And that's what I've been trying to tell Joe forever. And I could tell just by,
Joe's permanently affected.
He is, but I can just tell by how Artista is, how Dave is kind of framing everything, that, this is one of Joe's concerns, that people want to hear more about, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, but people want to hear more about future treatments, and that's what he wants to talk about. People don't want to see Joe hear Joe Tillman talking about hair transplants, but you know what? That's what they do want to hear. The most viewed and downloaded shows, frankly, are some of the shows that Joe from Staten Island is not calling into, and I think that that Andrew Zarian could attest to that.
Yeah,
and it's just the way that it is. So there's nothing. Joe is a friend of the show. I've known him for many years. I love when he calls in, and he's always welcome to call in. But what can I do for him anymore? He doesn't want to be helped, and he doesn't. Sometimes I think he doesn't respect everything that I've tried to do for him over the years, and I think he takes it for granted. I appreciate his I appreciate his loyalty to the show, but he also has to understand that, for the vast majority of my career, people have been telling me not to allow him to call into the show anymore, especially when I was on radio. So he has to appreciate the loyalty the show has to him.
Yeah, well, I hope he does call in to talk to you.
Well, I hope he does too, but I have a feeling he won't.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, man. Show must go on. We got a lot of calls. Andrew's going to be taking his Propecia tonight.
At the top of the hour in 7 minutes.
That's right.
Well, Andrew, your hair loss isn't that bad, isn't it?
It's not bad at all. I mean, obviously there is some.
Do you want me to go over there and shine a light on his head?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm not going to do
that. It's maturing. Obviously, I'm 30 now, so it's going to mature. I'm
not
going to have a juvenile hairline.
This is he giving my kid. Can you believe that, Dave?
I could.
Is that unbelievable? Can you believe how good I look? Isn't that insane? Holy shit!
But you know what? It's more about preserving and maintaining than it is to see significant growth. Obviously, if it's successful, I'm going to see that the miniaturized hair is going to get a little fuller. And that's going to give it a fuller look, but I'm not looking to bring my hairline down to where it was when I was 16.
You have a greater chance than not of experiencing the same type of positive effects that Dave Artista has, and that means reversing the miniaturization process, kind of keeping what you have, and that's the goal. Now, on the other end of the coin, you can end up with significant sexual side effects and a severe shedding period.
But the shedding, it'll come back.
Right. In most cases, it does.
So, and this is something that you brought up to me today. You're like, you could shed, and my point is, I have more to lose now.
I just want Jess to know, if she's watching this broadcast, that I have done everything in my power to talk him out of taking this drug, because I don't want to deal with any shit. That's
from Jess.
From Jess. Also from you. No, but honestly, listen. I mean, I treat you like you're my kid, and I would tell my son the same thing. I've been taking the drug for 20 years. In my experience, it's very safe. In the clinical experience of all the physicians that I've known who've prescribed this drug to thousands of people, the adverse side effects that you read about online just don't seem to be occurring, at least in their practices. That's all I can tell you. The bottom line is it's up to you to make the decision and to know everything that you're getting involved in before you pop that first pill. And in the end, it's your decision and your doctor's decision. That's it.
And 5 minutes countdown.
Makes sense.
All right, dude. So you're gonna, Dave, you're gonna watch him take the first pill. We're gonna take a break.
Certainly will.
All right, man. Listen, thank you so much for the call. Did you want to speak about Dr. Wesley or anything? Did you have any information that you wanted to provide?
Oh, I should. I did call Dr. Wesley, and he has yet to get back to me. He's been pretty busy, I went on the forum today. It was the first time in a long time, and I saw there was a thread about his activity with PRP and ACell.
I didn't even check the forum today or this week, so I don't know.
Yeah, check it out. It seemed pretty interesting. He had photographs out there, and I didn't know he was involved in that.
Well, I will say that all these guys are getting involved. They're kind of testing it in their own practices. They're trying to see if it works. The problem is there's really no significant clinical data. The only guy in the hair world is Joe Greco, who is writing the papers and getting involved in the research, and he seems to be getting some really good results with PRP and his own proprietary, what is it called? Extracellular matrix that he actually has developed out of your own person's own blood. So he's not using ACell. But with that said, there seems to be some success from some of the guys who are utilizing ACell and PRP. I don't know, man. I kind of, Joe is obviously he's not a physician. He's not part of what we do through the Ball Truth of the IHRS. He's a PhD. His father is his father and his brother are physicians, and so he works with his brother in this practice, but. Oh. He's the only guy that I have known that I've actually been able to see significant results from.
And a lot of people within just the hair loss world, PRP world, will say that he gets phenomenal results, and they don't know why.
Yeah.
And that's everybody's answer.
Yeah.
They don't know why he gets those results.
That's right.
He does.
That's right. So, but I think what Dr. Wesley is doing, he spoke to me about it. I'm sure he's, I didn't see the pictures. Did he post pictures? On the site?
Yeah, there's pictures posted on that thread, yeah. It looked good.
Yeah, so,
Women and men.
I understand that he is getting good results. There's some other guys who claim to be getting good results. So, again, it's at this point, it's still anecdotal. The only person who's really doing something clinically that I'm aware of is Joe Greco, at least as far as clinical trials. But it's impressive stuff. And as far as what Dr. Wesley is doing with his new scarless, quote unquote, FUE technique. Well, I guess it is scarless because he's not leaving any scars on the outside of the scalp. Again, even though I do believe that it could be a game changer, everyone's just waiting for it. You can't wait for it, guys.
Exactly.
I don't think there's going to be a game changer. I don't think there's going to be one thing that changes, hair loss for men or women. I think it's going to be a combination of treatments combined. You're going to see some decent results between finasteride, minoxidil, PRP.
That's the way it's always been. And I do think that one game changer in surgical hair restoration is going to be the Artist robot. There's no doubt in my mind. Once it gets to the point where they're creating consistently small incision sites for the donor area, which are getting smaller and smaller. Right now, they're working with a 0.9 millimeter punch, and from what I understand, they're working on some other smaller punches as well. Once they get that consistency down, and they're actually working on, and they're going to be launching in some practices, the ability to create recipient sites, it's going to be a game changer. It's going to kind of level out the field, and that's exciting. So there will be guys who are really great at hair transplants that will incorporate this machine into their practice to help to expedite things and make things more consistent. And then the new guys that get into the field are going to be causing a lot less damage because they're going to have a device like this that's going to, at the very least, even if they have minimal experience, they're going to be able to provide a decent hair transplant just by virtue of not causing people to have really significant scarring and having the ability to create a nice recipient area with the robot. So it's exciting stuff. Yeah. It's exciting stuff. I think there's going to be a lot of great changes coming down the pipe. But that's stuff that Joe doesn't want to hear about, though. He doesn't want to hear about the robot. He doesn't want to hear about Wesley. He doesn't want to hear about any of this stuff. All he wants to hear about is bimatoprost and what's happening with these future treatments.
Yeah. It's possible that Dr. Wesley could revolutionize hair transplantation with this new system that he's got.
Oh, I
But
agree.
you have to wait and see.
I agree.
You have to wait and see. Yeah, you've seen the stuff.
I've seen it, and I agree with you. It's a game changer. I mean, it's going to, but the thing is, it's not going to be something that is going to,
Get on the cover of Time magazine.
well, it may get on the cover of Time magazine, but it's not something that's going to really reach the masses as far as the, physicians utilizing his product, his device.
Right.
It's going to be very limited in its use. Eventually, initially it's just going to be him. Who's going to be offering the procedure, and maybe a couple of other people will kind of, purchase it or license it from him, and they'll be doing it. But I just don't think it's going to become commonplace. But we'll see.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see on that one, yeah. But I'm sure, I expect to hear from him pretty soon. So I'll let you know, Spencer, as soon as I hear from him.
All right, Dave. Well, listen, it's always a pleasure hearing from you.
Yeah, it was great to talk to you and Andrew. I keep on saying Andre.
It's okay.
Okay, I can be Andre. I can
He
be
likes
whoever you
Andre.
want. Whatever you want me to be, I'll be.
Yeah, that's what he said last night.
And I wanted to say that I will finally post the before and after photos of my hair, but I will put the kabuki in.
No, that's fine. You know what? I think you should. I think you should let people know that you weren't able to give yourself this appearance before. You weren't able to use this product that now attaches to hair that wasn't there before. And you're in your 50s. How old are you, Dave? How old are you now?
I'm 56 now.
So, okay, so you're effing 56 years old, and it worked on you.
Yes.
And if you would have taken it 10 years ago, you probably wouldn't be calling the show.
True. And Andrew, from what I understand, if you take it up to like 2 years, then you would know for sure what it does for you. Am I right, Spencer?
Well, there's a guy that I used to drink with many years ago.
Yeah.
His name is Ben. He's called the program over the years, and he started to take it, and he was a long-time sufferer, and he didn't think it was working for him. And at about month 15 or 16, I think, that's when he contacted me. He said, you know what? I see a difference now. So he went through an initial tillage and effluvium, the whole shedding process, whatever it is. He's stuck with it. And now he's been on it for over a decade. And he's my age. He's maintained his hair.
And I look forward to August, this coming August, because that would be the 2-year mark for me.
Well, you know what? We'll have a little celebration.
2 years, that's a long term.
Yeah.
You're in it.
Absolutely.
All right, Dave.
Absolutely. All right, guys.
All right. Like Johnny Ohio said, wish you the best of luck. I'll talk to you later.
Oh, thank you, Johnny.
All right.
Hello,
Johnny,
everybody.
you should call in when you get a chance. I'm sure Andrew would love to hear you because, he's taking his first pill tonight.
I am.
So
I'm going to take it in a couple of minutes.
We're going to take a quick break. Dave, thank you so much for calling.
You're welcome.
All right.
And good luck, Andrew.
Thank you.
888-659-3727. We'll be taking your calls live on the broadcast tonight. Andrew Zarian, the founder of the Guys from Queens Network, the co-founder of the International Alliance, the International Association. What is it? What are you co-founder of?
International Association of
Internet Broadcasters. Sorry about that. And, just one of the most well-known Internet broadcasters in the world is going to be taking Finasteride on this program tonight. His
Where
first
else
pill.
would I do it? It would have to be here.
And again, don't do it just for the show,
I'm
dude.
doing
You
it
have
because I
to
wanna
please.
take it.
Do you want to take it?
I want to take it.
Okay, just say Spencer Kobren did not coerce you to take this pill.
What was the other one?
Coerce you.
Coerce me. Coerce?
He can't even
Coerce
say
me.
it.
I'm not
That's
saying
okay.
it for a reason.
That's guys. We're gonna take.
Spencer Kobren may or may not have told me to take it.
Guys, we're gonna take a quick break. 888-659-3727. Joe from Staten Island. If you're listening to the show, give us an effing call, man. Don't be such a Mitch. You know what I'm saying? We'll be right back. Stay with us. Again, 888-659-3727. I was going to use my other computer to get some music, but I guess I can't do that. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
The man who's helping to make hair loss history.
They wish to cure us, but I say we are the cure.
It's Spencer David Kobren.
Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for staying with us. It's a really big night here at the Bald Truth. Andrew Zarian from New York City. Guys from Queens Network.
Can I give out the phone number?
Absolutely.
888-659-3727. That's 888-659-3727.
I mean, how good is that?
I memorized it.
You're incredible.
I do it every Friday.
Guys in the chat room, let me know. Apparently, Andrew is coming in a little low, so I just raised his volume. Let me know if it is, if the levels are good.
So I have a lot of people watching this right now. A lot of GFK viewers. A lot of friends are watching this. I've gotten a bunch of messages from my friends.
And they're telling you what? Don't do it. Now, did you fix the other double shot?
I did.
Where is it?
No, I fixed this one. I didn't get a chance to do that.
Oh, so you just fixed. Okay, you just made it better. Okay.
Yeah. So here it is. Should I do it?
You know what? I can't tell you what to do, man.
Let's open it up. This is it.
I can't tell you what to do.
So this is brand name Propecia, and Godspeed.
Good luck. Godspeed, my man.
Oh my dick!
don't laugh, because there's the guys out there wishing you harm right now. That's it.
Took it.
Mazel tov, my man.
It's over.
That is it. Andrew Zarian, Guys from Queens Network, just popped his first Propecia pill. Now, there's probably a good chance, and I'm not recommending this to anybody, there's probably a good chance that he will be drinking later.
I will be.
As well.
Yeah.
So, I guess, maybe what you should do is maybe you should go on Bald Truth Talk, announce to everybody that you popped the first pill on the Bald Truth, and kind of let people follow you.
Well, you know what? I'm going to document it on the show. Every week I'm going to call in.
Yeah.
And I'm going to bring up, and I'm going to talk about any kind of weirdness that I get, anything.
Right.
I'm going to bring it up. And we'll let the audience...
I'm nervous now. Why am I nervous?
We'll let the audience decide if it's caused by something else.
You're making me nervous now.
I have a headache right now.
All of a sudden. It's not even in your system.
I just took it.
It's like it's basically just in your throat area, right?
No, but I've had a headache all day. I mean, these are things where you have to honestly say.
I actually asked you for your migraine strength Advil.
Yeah.
Because of my headache. Now, either I have a tension headache or it's a possible brain tumor. And if I have a brain tumor, it's because of my Proscar use. Well, I can tell you that everyone who is on these anti-Proscar sites are going to say yes. God forbid. 888-659-3727 is the phone number.
Now, I have a serious question for you.
Yes.
What does this mean for my prostate? Taking this.
As far as what?
In general, what is it going to do?
Well, here's the thing. There is a school of thought that guys who take this in the long term have a lesser incidence, about 25% less of a chance of developing prostate cancer.
Because it shrinks the prostate?
Well, not only does it shrink the prostate, or does it keep it a normal size, but there is some theories out there that it actually stops the formation or prevents the cancer itself. Now, with that said, there have been 2 studies, actually 3, but one study that initially said that those who were taking finasteride who did develop prostate cancer developed a more aggressive form of prostate cancer. And then there was another study that debunked that. And then there's another study that, actually 2 more from my recollection, that confirmed the second study, and then another study that confirmed the first study. So most doctors, I do know actually physicians who are taking it because their dads suffered, or one guy's dad died from prostate cancer. And this guy who's taking it is totally bald. He's not doing it for his hair loss. He's just doing it as a preventative for prostate cancer. Now, he is a physician as well. So, I mean, and then there's doctors out there who will tell you that this is poison.
How about all those people that are taking Proscar that are not taking it for hair loss?
Yeah, well, most of the guys that are taking it for benign prostate hyperplasia or enlarged prostate, which is a benign, non-cancerous issue, are taking it to shrink their prostate to give themselves better urinary function. And, in some cases, the guys who are taking it who have prostate issues actually suffer from impotence because of the prostate issues. And once they take this drug,
it helps.
It helps.
Yeah.
So, the drug's been around for a long time, man, over 20 years now. Listen, all I can tell you is don't even think about it. Take it like Dave Artista. He started taking it at 56. That's when your dick is supposed to stop working. And it's not, it hasn't affected
What's the craziest thing that you've heard that it's done?
Oh, my God. I've heard some really crazy things.
I've seen the feminine tendencies. I've seen the one that somebody claimed that it made him gay.
I
saw that one.
Was that on my forum?
No, it was on that survey site.
Oh,
it was like a survey that was done of all the side effects and the people taking it, and there was a lot of people that were claiming that it made them gay.
Well, first of all, if you're trying to use it as an excuse to come out,
it's scary. I mean, but I don't listen. Half the time, you don't know if they're joking or the sad thing is if they honestly believe that this medication.
I don't know. I don't know how a medication can turn you into a homosexual.
I hope it does.
I guess anything's possible. It would make your life a lot easier.
Man.
Dude, you basically everyone thinks you're a gay man. You know,
I would make a great gay man.
I've never seen such perfectly groomed eyebrows on a man. It's unbelievable.
You know how much work this is?
This guy, his entire. You think he has a beard and stuff? You think that's easy for him? He has like he comes with a stencil. You know, it's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. He sends hair products to my house.
I did. I mailed hair products to you.
I've never seen anything like it. Jesus, let's take a phone call. Let's see who this is. Let's see. You picked the area code 773-973 or 448.
448.
All right, let's see who this is. Hey, you're on the air. Who's calling and where are you calling from?
This is Johnny. How you doing?
Johnny.
Man, what's happening, bro? He picked. So what do you think? Andrew Zarian just took his first Propecia pill.
Well, it's one small step for hair loss, one giant step for getting your hair back.
But how do you think it's going to affect the hair loss world and for all those guys who are like anti-Propecia and who've had because Andrew's a very a very well-known online personality.
I hope it helps them. You know, I'm not making a joke out of this. I really hope somebody's watching this and says, Andrew took it. Let me see how he does on this. I'm an unbiased opinion.
Right.
I have no ties to saying this is working. I'm not paid by Merck. I have no association to Merck.
Doesn't matter, dude. I'm not paid by Merck. I have no association with Merck. And there are people who have been online defaming me for years, saying that I'm a shill for Merck. I'm getting paid by Merck.
Sure. I wish I was getting paid by Merck. I'm just saying that right now.
If I was getting paid by Merck, everyone would know. I'd be wearing a big Propecia T-shirt right now.
You know what? I would dress up like a Propecia.
Yeah, we get your Propecia suit.
You would get me a Propecia suit. I would dress up like an octagon. An octagon pink pill, and I'd walk around town all day in that. So I'm hoping what I'm doing right now is going to help a guy, a 22-year-old, a 23-year-old that's losing his hair, and he's affected by this, to say, I'm going to try this. I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah, and Mike from Canada says, R.I.P. Andrew, just kidding, welcome to the club. So apparently Mike from Canada is probably taking the drug as well. And you know what, dude? All I can tell you is right now, as it stands, you have a really good-looking head of hair. I see what you're talking about to some extent since I've met you, but it's very mild, very mild. So you probably would have lasted at this pace for another 5 years.
I think all of us would kill to have like a quarter of his hair.
Oh, are you kidding me, man? I can't comb my hair back like he does.
You know what it is with my hair?
I have to comb it to the side.
I'll tell you what it is with my hair. I don't have a thinning. It's receding.
Right.
So it's going back. It's not thinning. Like I don't have a bald spot. I've seen virtually no hair loss on the top.
So you're basically, it's your hairline.
It's just a hairline that's going back. But I never had a really, tight hairline. My brother, on the other hand, looks like a caveman. I mean, he has like a crazy juvenile hairline.
He has some crazy hairline, that kid.
Well, chances are, the Propecia, if there is any miniaturization, it'll slow that down. For me, I was on it for a couple of years, and it didn't work for me. It's not saying that it doesn't work for everyone, but it didn't work for me at all.
But you didn't have any did you have any adverse side effects?
Not really, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I was aware of. It's just I didn't see anything, maybe if I would have taken it when the time you started taking it, Spencer, in the early 90s, it might have been a different story.
But, I mean, did you not see an improvement and not see it stopping? Like, I don't care for an improvement. I don't care if I gain one follicle of hair.
Johnny, when you started to take it, you already had a hair transplant, right?
Yeah.
Right. So
it was after the fact.
Yeah. So you were significantly thinning at that point.
Had I have taken it, beforehand, like in the early 90s, like when you did, it may have been a different story.
Yeah.
But your age now, Andrew, taking it, I think it's probably the right time to take it. You're in your 30s, and I think you will see some improvement.
Yeah, I was in my 20s when I started to take it.
See, my expectations are low. All I'm asking for is to keep what I have.
Right.
That's all I'm expecting. If I get anything more, obviously I'm going to be ecstatic about it, and I'm going to be excited.
Or even if you're able to slow it down a decade.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be amazing. Yeah. That would be life-changing.
Well, I used Rogaine, and Rogaine helped for a while. But, it got to a point of where, it was falling out faster than they could keep up. But Rogaine, that was the first drug that we all, thought was the godsend, and
it helped me for a long time.
So is it weird that I've never even considered taking Rogaine?
No,
being on Rogaine?
no. I actually, in my view, Rogaine is a Band-Aid, and I think most doctors would agree. Again, I'm not a physician, Andrew, as you know, and I think if you're going to treat it medically, and if you're willing to take finasteride, at this stage, finasteride is your best bet. Again, that's, if you don't have any adverse side effects.
What if I did a combination of finasteride and minoxidil?
The thing is, when you do a combination, and a lot of doctors will prescribe that, and I think it's short-sighted because you don't know what's really working for you.
Yeah. And
what happens if finasteride alone just works as well as finasteride and Rogaine? You're kind of stuck using this other drug. Yeah. So I always tell people, and again, I'm not a doctor, I have to keep saying that, try one or the other at first and see what happens. Some guys do well on Rogaine, but Rogaine is more difficult to use. It's easy to take a pill.
Well, Rogaine, I think, helped the crown more for me than it did anything. It really, it kept more hair in the crown than, I think Propecia is more of an overall, and from what I've read and seen, it definitely helps out the hairline. So, and I think that's what Andrew's looking at.
Look, if all goes well for Andrew, and I think that it will, I have a guy, again, my friend's my age. I have my two best friends in the world, actually three. One is not taking it, but his younger brother decided to take it, and it changed his life.
How old?
His younger brother now is, let's see, he was born, he's a year older than you.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, he started taking it about 5 years ago. Completely changed his life. He was panicking and stopped his hair loss. I sent him to Dr. Bernstein. He did really well. My other two kids that I grew up with, they're both taking it themselves. And these guys have been on it for a long. I was actually speaking to one of the guys the other day. He's going on 12 years, and my concierge Raph is on it for over 15 years.
I do think there is something behind the generics versus the name brand.
Yeah.
When it comes to these side effects, I would love to see that research done.
Well, it's not going to be done.
It's not going to be
done. But yeah.
But it's fascinating. I mean, how many of these people having these adverse side effects are on generic? Which generic?
Now, why is your eye swelling? Did you notice that?
Mine?
I'm just kidding, dude. I got all nervous. Did you see that, Johnny?
Yes,
I thought I was having an allergic reaction to lunch.
What, tequila?
We had.
I did, yeah.
We had 3 tequilas, and we actually had 3 pizzas.
I'm so hungry.
Wow.
But they were gluten-free.
I hadn't eaten in 3 days.
Common Law passed out in the bedroom.
Oh, she's done, huh?
She's done.
She's done.
Enough.
Yeah, she can't. We drank earlier today, so.
So basically, after the show, you guys are going out and you're leaving her there.
It's very possible, or we're just going to get some fried chicken. We'll see.
So much for the diet.
Yeah. Well, listen, when he's here, diet's gone.
Yeah, listen, I starved myself for a couple days, and I went down to 163, and now I can bloat up to 170 again, and then drop it down again.
Yeah.
Like a yo-yo.
As you get closer to 35, you're going to notice that you're going to have parts of your body that are going to grow. Not that you want them to grow.
Not the parts that you want to grow.
Not the part I want. Johnny, you screwed me up. I got excited.
That's the one that shrinks.
Well, trust me. You'll have your tool. You'll have a shed for your tool.
That's right.
If you don't, it sucks, doesn't it, Spencer?
I wouldn't know about that, Johnny.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
No, I'm talking about as far as when I was I'd never had any belly weight.
Oh my God, dude!
Up until I hit 35.
Dude, it would be obnoxious to even say this and ridiculous. But if you were to see images of me with my shirt off when I was in my mid-20s, it was ridiculous, and I hardly had to do anything.
No, I didn't either. I mean, all I did, it was amazing. I could eat 15 Big Macs and lose weight. Now, if I just look at an ad, I put on 20 pounds.
Yeah, like Andrew says, I'm all bulk now. I'm like an old wrestler at this point. That's what happens.
But like the Iron Sheik.
I'm like the Iron Sheik.
But getting back to the Propecia, just because it doesn't work for someone does not mean it's not going to work for a majority of the people out there.
That's right.
So that's something that I think that before anyone decides to do any type of surgery or anything, try to exhaust all your options first.
Johnny, man, you know my feelings. Surgery is the last resort. Andrew has been talking with me about getting his hairline reconstructed for the last 3 years.
No.
I'm like, you're out of your mind, man. And you know what?
Do not do that.
It would be great for the show. I mean, I'm sure Alan Bauman would want to do it.
Bauman love it. I've spoken to Bauman about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, don't
do it, dude. I tell him all the time. Do not.
From somebody that's had. I'm not saying that Bauman's one of the best. Don't get me wrong, but just
no. But why?
And he, by the way, he told me.
Yeah.
He's like.
Yeah. Probably not a good time yet.
No, it's not. You've got a long. If give Propecia a chance. I wish Artista the best of luck. He's probably one of the top guys that you have calling in. Spencer, he's a good fella, and I wish him nothing but the best because I know he's going. I'm hoping his hair loss journey turns into finding paradise for him.
Well, you know what? He's doing a lot better, and there's no doubt that this is a guy that wore a hat for all the time for many years. Look, he's got a really nice looking wife and a family and a job and a house and everything that a man wants in life. Mm-hmm. But that was the only thing that was missing. And now he's able to walk around without his hat, and that's a big deal. And you know that. You know how that is, Johnny.
Yes, I do, and I wish him the best. And he's a good guy. I mean, he's a very a likable individual. I'm
Absolutely.
sure if I met him in person, he'd be somebody that you'd like to sit down and drink a beer with.
I agree. I agree.
Jack it up with.
All right, man. Well, listen.
So what's going on with Joe here?
Oh, dude, I have no clue. I'll tell you. I don't want to get into anything personal with Joe, except for what he exposed on the free for all and maybe on the Ball of Truth. But apparently, he was very upset with me because I did not make a phone call for him, within his time frame, to get him to help him to get a laser cap.
You want a cap? And
I said, "Listen, Joe, I've been extremely busy. I told you that I would make that happen for you." And he was like, "I'm very disappointed, Spencer." And then I went off on him. I'm like, "Are you effing kidding me?" So anyway, to make a long story short,
you need a kick in the tail. If there's anyone's ever been a bigger friend and it's been compassionate to your plight, it's been Spencer Kobren. So I think you need to reconsider, Joe, if you're listening.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, but just to let you know that I obviously did make it happen for him. After, even though he made that public, I made it happen for him, and then he refused to move forward with it. He decided that he doesn't want any pictures taken of his scalp, stuff like that. I'm like, well, how else are you going to get a free laser
Nothing
device?
Is free. You got to give something.
I mean, they're not going to, if it's just the scalp, I mean, no one's going to know.
That's what I told him, but whatever. Listen, he's his own man. I did my best for him for many years. I feel bad that he feels bad. That's the last thing I want. And now he's going off on Andrew and Coco from the free
he's mad at me and Coco. I understand Coco because he's a lunatic, but me, what did I ever do?
I think you've been nothing but nice to him.
Thank you.
Both of you.
Well, thank you, John.
Joe Tillman, now he left Hassan and Wong. Is he still with Ray Hall?
I have to be honest with you. That's one issue that he does not want to discuss with me yet. And I'm not quite...
Oh, really? Because I was not seeing on the forums. I mean, I like Joe. I think he's he's definitely the rock star of hair transplant.
He's an awesome dude. He's an awesome guy, and I love having him on the show.
So, okay, well, I understand then if that's something that... I thought that was like... Because I've been away for a while.
Listen, if it was public knowledge, I would share it with you, and he would share it with you. But, I had asked him myself, and he's like, listen, I just, at this stage of the game, I can't really discuss it. And I'm like, all right, I am not one to pry,
Well, he's the type of guy that I'm sure he's going to land on his feet, and whatever he decides to do, he'll be very successful.
Oh, dude, that guy's an effing rock star. He can do it.
Joe
Tronic?
Yeah,
he's an awesome
guy. Joe Tronic can do whatever he wants in this industry.
Well, what you need to do is you need to have him out there with you, him, and Andrew eating gluten-free pizza and drinking tequila. That would be something that I think reality TV. That would be something that Andrew could put on the GFQ.
Dude, it would be awesome.
Oh my God.
Joe was actually in my house at the old house.
I heard about
Specs.
I heard about it.
And let me tell you something. I still have the video. So
it was a wild night. Specs is on the forum. He's typing away in the middle of the night.
Are you kidding me? Dude, I have video of them in my playing pool that they can never turn on me. I'll tell you that.
I think Spence has the same exact video of me walking around in my underwear.
That's
in the
true.
middle of the night.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right, Johnny,
well,
man.
Fellas, it's always great to hear from you and talk to you. And I tell you what, if I don't see you guys, happy holidays. And Andrea, hope you have a safe trip back to New York.
And by the way,
Johnny.
wasn't it your birthday recently, Johnny?
Yes, it was Thanksgiving.
Happy birthday, Johnny. See, I remembered that. I was pretty sure it was Thanksgiving, but
I try not to celebrate.
what is it? What is it? What is it? Is it the big 50 or is it 51?
No, 5-1.
Jesus
Wow.
Christ!
Yeah.
Holy cow! Well, I'm coming up in 7 months on the big 50. So
Yeah. Well, actually, 50 wasn't as bad as 25. 25 to me was hard.
was it?
It was for me for some reason. I don't know why, but 40 wasn't, 30 wasn't bad, 35, 40. 50 wasn't bad. 25 for some reason. I don't know why.
Not good.
But but 50, it's great, man. Spencer, you don't look 50.
Well, I appreciate that. Andrew says I'm looking younger. I'm growing out a beard. He says I look younger with the
He
beard.
looks
So what are
young.
you going to do?
He looks younger and younger every time I come.
I'm thinking maybe you're a vampire, so.
No, maybe one day you guys will know the truth. right.
Joe really will be pissed.
All right, Johnny, man. Always a pleasure.
Guys.
Take care.
Bye.
888-659-3727. We'll take another phone call, and then we'll talk more about Andrew Zarian's first Propecia pill. So if you're not feeling side effects now, you're fine, dude.
My insides are on fire.
You're on the air. Who's this, and where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Tim from Boston.
Hey, Tim. How are you, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Cannot complain. Good to hear from you. What's happening?
Nothing. I was listening in. I just got home at 9, but I thought it was interesting what you guys were talking about with Arian. I study genetics, so I can tell you that homosexuality is not a side effect of Propecia.
Well, thank you for clearing that up because Andrew was really worried about that.
I was really worried. I was actually excited a little bit.
He wasn't concerned about impotence or anything like that. He was just concerned about having to tell Jess that he's now a homosexual.
Right, yeah. No, don't worry about that too much. But I can tell you that the reason why they think it prevents cancer is because androgens are powerful steroids.
Right.
And just like progesterone or estrogen, which are known to cause, or they believe are linked to breast cancer, is the same sort of reasoning behind why they think it's linked to.
Yeah, that's interesting. That makes sense, actually. And that's right. Your dad's a dermatologist.
My dad's a dermatologist, and I've got back to school to pursue a medical profession, I guess.
That's awesome, man. So you are a guy who your dad prescribed you finasteride.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're taking it now, currently.
Yeah, I've been taking it for over 2 years.
So tell Andrew about your experience.
What's your experience been?
Well, I guess I'm on generic, but I've never had any side effects sexually. And I actually upped my dose from 1.25 to 2.5, just a half a pill, just because it's easier for me to cut it that way and not to spend as much time like cutting it up into quarters. But even when I upped the dose, nothing happened. So I really think it's I'm sure there are people who suffer with side effects, but it's rare. It's really rare. It's one of the safest drugs on the market.
And that's I'm glad that you're saying this because you come from a medical background. You are studying right now into sciences, and we've talked about this before. And I mean, as if you look in the physician's desk reference, I would have to say, just drug for drug, it is the drug with the least listed side effects that I've ever seen.
I mean, a lot of that also, like you'll see people in the chat room while we're doing a show. They're talking about how Propecia is evil and should be off the market, and in the same exact hour, they're talking about how they get high on Xanax,
right? And
they get high on Klonopin, and how great it is.
Yeah, and Klonopin, people are committing suicide because of Klonopin. People have some of the worst withdrawals from Klonopin.
Xanax, any of the opiates.
Yeah. So I mean, it's insane.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say what people don't realize is that you're doing damage to organs that are that stuff can really kill you. That can really ruin your life. So it's kind of funny.
I'm dying from within. I've been dying for years.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, I don't really see the, I talked to my dad about people who to the efficacy of the drug, and he says he doesn't, because I told him, I was kind of worried about the effects waning over time, and he says, it's very minimal over long-standing periods of time, on the whole, with most people that he prescribes the medication to. And I have, my sister is 6 years older than me, and there's some guys that she graduated with who started losing their hair, who my father, prescribes the medication to, and they've maintained for 12 years, 13 years. So
it's interesting. Listen, obviously everybody's different, and there are those anomalies out there, and there are those who for whatever reason they start to progress again more rapidly after 5 years or 6 years. But as a whole, from all the information that I've gathered over the years, from all the anecdotal evidence, from the people who have contacted us through the show and through the American Hair Loss Association or the IHRS or the Bald Truth, the vast majority of guys who take this drug seem to be in your category, man. The guys who have not had adverse side effects and believe they benefited from the drug.
Yeah, I think most people, don't have side effects, and they maintain. I don't really believe in the 5-year rule. I really don't.
Doesn't make any sense.
Just looking from people who who've been on the drug for a long time. What the drug is. The drug doesn't stop doing what it's doing, and actually, as you age, you lose the amount of production of DHT that you're producing.
Right.
Declines over time. Also, the insulin growth factor declines over time, which they think might contribute to it. So
yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm a woman. I'm almost 50 years old. I've probably lost so much testosterone.
Right.
But he's saying right. But in all honesty, you're right. There's no doubt about it.
I have a question for you.
Yeah. Now he's coughing. Look, I'm
coughing.
He's
Look what's happening. If I'm a man in my early 40s and I'm on, I go to the doctor, I find out my testosterone is low.
Really?
And I'm on finasteride.
No, he's saying this is a for instance. This is
for instance.
Right now he's only 30 years old.
Hypothetical.
Yeah, hypothetical. I'm a 40-year-old man. I go to the doctor. I find out my testosterone is low. He wants to give me a bio, it matches pretty much to natural testosterone. Wants to do something for me. My fear would be I'm going to lose my hair if I go on this thing. But if I'm on finasteride, will that prevent me from losing hair due to the testosterone?
Now you're asking the caller?
I'm asking you.
Oh, this would be my advice. There are a lot of doctors who will say that they are able to kind of balance the synthetic, like human growth hormone, DHEA, and testosterone with finasteride use, with the right amount of finasteride so that guys don't lose their hair. I think it's a crapshoot. I'm at an age now where I know that I would benefit from HGH or testosterone. I'd be jacked. It would be insane. And I think about it sometimes. I have neighbors who are my age that all of a sudden they go to the doctor and it's like they're basically taking
6
steroids.
weeks.
Yeah, it's it's unbelievable. I don't want to chance it. My testosterone levels are normal and actually a little high for a person my age. But, still, unless it was something significantly happening to me where I was, there was a quality of life issue, I wouldn't fuck with it.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say for sure, if you're injecting corticosteroids into your body, you're going to lose hair. On top of your head, and that's even if you don't really have strong genetics for baldness.
Yeah, but corticosteroids are different than anabolics.
I mean anabolic steroids. Yeah. What I mean, sorry.
Yeah,
but I mean there are different options. There's
body hair growth,
biogenical whatever that's made from yam.
Yeah.
They're bioidentical hormones. Yeah, but it's still causing your testosterone to elevate. So once you cause your testosterone to rise, you have the potential of increasing your production of dehydrated testosterone, even though you're blocking the enzyme that stops that production, or that's supposed to slow that production. But the more circulating testosterone you have, the more of a chance you're going to convert that to either DHT or even estrogen in some cases. Unless you're taking an aromatase inhibitor. So it's risky. For me, at my level, because I started losing hair pretty rapidly at a young age, I think that I'd be more prone to going back to that cycle if I introduce testosterone or HGH into my body. It's an individual situation. I know of a doctor who does that.
I do, yeah.
And he doesn't seem to be having any adverse effects.
No, he's not, he has not.
No, but he does have that little horn growing, that little thing on it.
He does.
Yeah. So who knows what that is?
Might be the Propecia.
Yeah. So,
ridiculous.
yeah.
So, Spence, I actually had a question or some advice for you, and it actually doesn't have to do with hair loss.
Good. Thank God.
I really haven't actually thought about my hair loss. I haven't called in a long time, actually.
That's good for you, man.
But I had this weird instance where I thought I was on a date with this girl. I mean, it wasn't set in stone. After class one day, she invited me over to her place, and she made me lunch and poured me a glass of wine. And then she invited me to this party on my way out the door, right? And I didn't go to the party because I didn't want to seem too overeager.
Right.
But she hasn't really initiated any contact with me since. You know, I shot her a quick text message. Just
so you're asking for advice from me because you said you had advice for me.
No, advice for me. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's just sort of a weird.
Well, is she?
Thing,
Is she? Did she talk about the Bible or religion in any way, shape, or form?
She didn't. No. She's not that religious.
Okay. Well, that's good. She's not trying to convert you.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's definitely not what it was. But I'm just wondering if it's I don't know if she's playing a little mind game here, and I'm a little, I just don't want to.
Well, you just said that you didn't pursue it, that you didn't go, she invited you out, and you decided to decline.
Well, it was sort of like up in the air, as I was walking out the door, she said, I'm having a party, and I asked for her number on my way out.
Right.
I said, can I have your number in case I can't make it? And I didn't end up going because I didn't want to seem, overeager, like, too interested, or I didn't really know where she was coming from. She invited me to her place. I don't really know her too well, so I thought that was a good sign,
How old is she?
She's 4 years younger than me, so she's a bit younger than me.
Of course it's
I'm
a good...
26, by the way, so she's 22.
Listen, of course it's a good sign. Why would she invite you back to her home if she didn't want, if she wasn't interested in you? Now, it's possible that you have to understand that at your age, and maybe not at your age, but I think at your age, most guys don't realize just how insecure women are, even the hottest women. So there are times it's great to play hard to get. It's great to play like you're not interested to some degree, but there are also instances when you do that they're freaking out themselves.
Right. Well, the thing I did was I didn't go to her party because she didn't the next day, she didn't send me any messages asking me to come, or she didn't call me or anything like that. So the next day I just said, sorry I couldn't make it to your party. It sounded like fun. And then she didn't respond for like hours. And then the conversation just ended. And then today I was in the science lab. She's a science major. That's how I know her. And she walked by me and kind of gave me what I felt was like kind of like a cold shoulder. So
yeah, well, you know what? She may think that you blew her off. And that you think that your shit don't stink, and that you're like, why didn't he call me?
It's over.
And you know what? If you really like her, I don't see anything. And some guys
I just don't want to crowd her,
So
that's all.
And you should say to her, listen, when you see her, say, listen, I just want to let you know that when I was hanging out at your house, I had a really good time, and I apologize for not contacting you about the party. I hope that I didn't offend you in some way, and see how she reacts. If she's not into you, if she's a bitch, she's just going to say, well, whatever, I don't care. But if she's interested in any way, shape, or form, she's going to appreciate the fact that you were willing to reach out to her.
Yeah, and you know what I think it is too is like all these. I got to stop reading these magazines.
Hold on, by the way, I think we have a new show here, Andrew.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Dating advice.
Yeah. Well, I got to stop reading these magazines, because I don't know how much truth there is to them.
None. There's no truth to any of them. They're all. You know what? Women want. Women want a guy that's going to sit there and listen and actually know how to speak and be articulate.
And that's that's what I did. When she invited me up to her house, I was pretty nervous, and I just kind of.
That's what beta blockers are for, dude. I thought you were a science major.
I know. Yeah. Well, I just kind of sat there and asked her the questions and kind of let her do most of the talking. But I don't know. I guess last year. I guess the only reason I asked is because last year, I kind of on Halloween I hit it off with some girl. She asked for my number. She initiated contact. She asked me to hang out. And then the night we were supposed to hang out, she never reached out, And now I don't really talk to her anymore. So I just don't want that to happen again.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, listen. So what's the worst thing that happens? If you like this girl and you think there's potential to hang out with her or to be with her, what's the big deal if you get rejected after this? There's no reason why you can't try. You just be very nice about it and say, when you see her again, just say hi. Ask her how she's doing and explain to her. Just say, hey, listen, I just want to make it clear that I really appreciate I really enjoyed our time we spent together, and I'm sorry that I couldn't hang out with you that night and go to your party. I hope that, didn't offend you in some way, and see how she reacts. That's it. And you know what? If she reacts poorly, you move on. But if you don't do that, you're never going to know, and she's going to give you the cold shoulder forever.
Yeah.
Life is short, dude. You're 26 years old. Give it a shot, man. What's the difference? There's always somebody. The women are like buses, man.
I mean, today, after I saw her and I saw the cold shoulder, I was like, guess I got to find some other girl. So I don't know.
But you don't.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Right.
You only know you have to do that after you've actually tried.
Yeah.
And lost.
So you think persistence is beneficial? That's not crowding.
My school of thought is until you get the restraining order,
You're not.
everything's good. No, honestly, I honestly think that there's no reason not to give it a shot one last time if you think that it's not there. I have a feeling she just, you may have offended her in some way. People, and also that to me that's also a little bit of a red flag.
If they get offended
that easy, so you may just see what she's like. Offer up that olive branch and see what happens. But you should know that there's a little something going on there.
Yeah, well, I get that I would. That's the thing, though, is like, I've had a bunch of girlfriends, but usually when
hold on, Andrew, do me a favor, open that door, man. It is so hot. Open the door for me. Do me a favor. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I've had a few girlfriends, and whenever those relationships that work out, it just seems like there's no, like game being played. You know what I mean? And I guess my sort of fear with this girl is that she's young, and it's like, here's this older guy who's showing me attention, sort of thing. But I'm kind of I'm sort of, I don't know if I'm more reserved because I'm older now, or not reserved, but I have my guard up a little more because I'm older.
Look, all you have to worry about is that she cannot get a hold of your money, and she cannot affect your relationship with your family, and that she can't hurt you in any way. As far as really hurt you, hurting your feelings is not a big deal. You get over that. That's all you have to keep your guard up for. Going out there and trying to get with her, screw her, or have fun with her, or maybe if you think she's dating, someone you'd like to date on a regular basis. All I can say is, just judging from the way she's reacting right now, that's a little bit of a red flag, but it's not necessarily the end of the world. It may be something that's salvageable, but there's no reason why you can't just reach out to her, explain things the way that I explained, told you to explain them. And if she's a decent person, she'd appreciate that. And especially if she likes you.
It's not like I totally blew her off. The next day I sent her a message, hey, sorry I couldn't be there. Sounded fun. Hope it was fun. But she just seemed distant. So, but yeah, I guess I'll give it a shot.
The thing is, in her mind, you blew her off. You were at her house. You were hanging out. She invited you to a party that night. She didn't have the next night. Yeah. So you didn't call her. You didn't contact her the night you left after hanging out.
No.
You didn't contact her the night of the party, but you contacted her the following day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in her mind, either this is like an aloof asshole.
Now that you say it like that.
Yeah.
It sounds bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you expected?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All right, man.
I gotta stop reading these magazines.
Forget about the magazines.
Forget about the magazines.
Listen, I didn't go off the market till I was 35 years old. So I banged around a lot for many, many years. I dated a lot of different women, and I hope common law is sleeping because I don't want her to hear this. But I have a lot of experience in that respect, and I will tell you, most women, and I'm talking about really beautiful women, they're really insecure, and it seems like the better looking the woman, the more insecure she is. So anything can set them off, So you hurt her feelings. That's and now she's trying to get you back. That's just my view. I could be wrong. Andrew's shaking his head.
No, I agree.
Yeah. So you think most women are not sort of manipulative, attention seeking, like sort of?
No, I think that they are, but I also think that's based on their innate insecurities, and maybe not innate, but developed insecurities. And it's all about like a protective mechanism for them. And I do think there's a manipulative process, and I do think that some women are really cunning, but I think the majority of women are just kind of insecure, and they do what they can to protect themselves.
Yeah, I was thinking about I was just going to say, I was just thinking tomorrow I was going to, there's a good chance, there's a pretty good chance I'd see her. I don't know for sure if I will, but, just being my confident, normal self, and just smile at her and be nice. And
exactly. And don't be overly aloof, I mean, obviously you're going to smile at her and be nice, but don't be overly avoidant, don't avoid the elephant in the room. That's what I meant to say. Basically, just approach it and say, hey, listen, I just want to, I was thinking about you, about our time together. I had a really good time. And I just want to apologize if I somehow, offended you by not contacting you or something like that, something that you're comfortable with. But just let her know that you're thinking about it.
That's true,
Go ahead.
The other thing, too, is I told her, can I get your number in case I can't make it? And I didn't really tell her I couldn't make it until after the party.
That's right.
Yeah.
And she's like, fuck him. I'm gonna go hang out with somebody else.
I'm gonna go bang low.
Yeah. But I think if you really want her, you show her the right attention, and you're very open about it, what's the worst thing she can do? Blow you off again?
Yeah.
Big deal.
True.
All right, man.
All right, man.
All right. I wish you the best of luck.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for calling. Always a pleasure, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Take care. 888-659-3727. I kind of wish you called me when I was sober. I might have given him better advice.
You could have given him better. I thought it was.
It was not bad.
Advice.
I did my best.
Gave him good advice.
I did my best. I mean, women are. It's a tough call, man. There are guys who are very it's like women are the devil, blah blah blah. There are some women who are really not nice people, but the vast majority of women that I've experienced in my life, even the effed up ones, they were effed up because they were so insecure.
That was the reason. Yeah.
That was it. They always wanted to get their noses done, or their boobs done, or this done, or that done. I mean, it's insane. And the prettier the chick, the hotter the chick, the more guys wanted her, it seemed the more insecure she was. And I will tell you that they were easier to get. The better looking they are, in my view, the easier they are to get.
That's actually funny.
It's the women that are kind of like mediocre looking that want guys that look like you. You know what I mean?
They can't have me.
They can't have you.
I'm too much. Too much maintenance.
So, how you feeling?
I'm good.
Yeah? You've been on it for half an hour?
I got a little sleepy. Is that a side effect?
Of the drug?
Yeah.
No, it could be a side effect of all the medication you're on.
I think it's because I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning.
That's probably it. Well, we're gonna close up shop in about 8 minutes. We don't have to go out.
No, we can do whatever.
No,
we can go out or we cannot.
Don't feel pressure. Isn't it nice? A lot nicer with the door open.
It is.
Oh my god!
I think that's what made me sleep.
It's so nice in here, man.
It's like 400 degrees.
Jesus Christ! You want to take another quick phone call?
Yeah,
Somebody actually just called in, so I'm going to take the call. Let's see who this is. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this, and where are you calling from?
I looked on the screen when I just logged in to check out the show. I saw nothing but trouble.
You have no idea what's been going on.
Well, I see the beers. I can only imagine. I'm just going to take a wild guess. Tequila's been involved.
There has been tequila
involved. There was tequila
involved.
involved this afternoon. I haven't had a drink since we came back.
Since when? Well, yeah, since we came back to the house.
This is the trick. You guys were asking, why are you always sober? Why aren't you drunk?
It's the pills.
The pills, and I know how to pace myself.
That's true.
You continued drinking. I stopped.
Am I drunk?
Hello, Andrew.
He just said hello.
Oh, hey.
You don't have your headphones on.
No, it's messing up my hair.
That's so funny.
How's it going, Andrew?
You want a pair of put him on the back, man.
I got him back here.
Yeah.
I hear him.
He doesn't want his headphones on because it's messing up his hair. That's why I wear these earbuds too.
Well, he's a smart man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get this whole flat thing going. I just washed my hair.
So he just did. I don't know if you were watching the program, but Andrew popped his first pill, his first Propecia, not his first pill, but his first Propecia on the show tonight.
Popped the pill, popped his cherry. Congratulations.
That's it.
He did. And people in the chat room were freaking out. They're like, his dick is going to fall off. And
I just got a message from one of my friends, and she wrote, "Is it true that your dick stops working from this?"
Yeah.
You can tell her that you're bringing it home in a jar.
Yeah. it screws on, and here you go.
Right on.
So today's day one.
What's the topic?
Welcome to the club. Well, that's basically the topic.
I got a question for both of you.
Joe's been on it forever, so you can talk to Joe about it as well.
Should I take it every day?
I think my advice, again, I'm not a physician, at the very beginning, as long as you don't have any adverse side effects, Absolutely.
Every day.
I'm a fan and I'm a believer of intermittent therapy, but it's kind of like using steroids. You kind of have to load your body up for a while. So you probably want to be on it for at least 6 months before you lower your dosage. But if you're not having any problems with 1 milligram, there's no reason not to take 1 milligram a day.
But
I look at it like this: if you're going to start out every day, I mean, like Spencer says, yeah, you got to build it up in your system, but it's such a small amount.
It is.
Each is only 1 milligram.
It is.
Such a small amount. I don't see why if you start every day, you shouldn't continue every day.
I agree.
Okay.
I mean, you have to understand, I started with 5 milligrams. So
high.
I tapered down to taking 5 milligrams a day, which averages out to a little less than 1 milligram a day, but I've been on it for over 20 years. And also, like the, what's his name? I can't forget it. Who's the caller that just called in? Jesus, I am drinking too much. Anyway, our friend from Boston. Sorry, dude. Do not, yeah, is it Tim? Yeah, do not take offense to that. I'm just a little drunk. And I just forgot my thought. Oh,
Propecia.
Propecia.
You got brain fog.
Jesus. See that? Now everyone in the forums is going to say Kobren has brain fog.
Brain fog.
Oh, my God. Anyway, that young cat's on it. Joe's been on it for like, how long, Joe? 20? You were on Finasteride for a while.
Yeah, I've been on something for about 13 years.
Right.
Majority of that has been Proscar. I started out with a quarter tablet Proscar, which is 1.25 Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then I bumped that up to daily. And then I thought, well, hell, I know some guys have been having some great results on Avodart Finasteride, which is a 0.5 milligram capsule. And I thought, well, I'll give that a shot. And I tried that for 2 or 3 years, and it did nothing for me except for making me bloated. My face got rounder. My body was just softer from it. And so I canceled that and went to Proscar. I went to half a tablet after that on Proscar. And the reason being is because I know guys that used to take the 5 milligram tablet, then switched to Avodart, and then switched back to Proscar, but took a lesser dosage, and they lost hair, dramatically.
Sure.
And that's another reason why I think that if you're going to take a medication like this, you can always move up, but I personally don't feel good about people backing off on the dosage for long term because I can't explain the process, but your body gets used to that level. And I've seen it in a few guys where they were taking a higher dosage and then cut back for at least 6 months on a lower dosage, and they lost ground.
Yeah, and I've seen that too. You know, this is just the way I've lucked out over the years, and it's kind of worked for me. So I've been basically doing this, once a week, or even sometimes once every, 4 or 5 days or 8 days, just depending on when I feel like taking it. And I've had success with it. And I think it's just, for me, it's been a great maintenance dose. But I also think, and this is where I was getting at, like the last caller, said that, as we get older, our testosterone levels get a little lower, our free-flowing testosterone and our conversion over to DHT anyway. So it's possible you need less of the medication. I don't know. For whatever it is, it's been working for me. But as far as Andrew's concerned, I think that, 1 milligram a day is the way to go.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Again, I'm not a doctor, Andrew.
In my opinion, my non-medical professional opinion, absolutely.
Well, it means something.
Andrew's just trying to get through the show. He is out. He's about to fall asleep. He's crashing, man.
The heat, man. It got really hot.
Dude, I'm just putting the camera on him and making everyone just watch him. Look at that.
It got so hot in here. Holy crap.
Too bad Skype is screwing with the colors because your lighting is so good and people can't see how good it is. It really looks good.
It looks really good.
Yeah, it looks really good. Anyway, so Joe, what's happening, man? How are you? We have about a minute left. I'll give you 3 minutes.
I'm sitting here talking to you on my new phone, which I'm pretty happy with. It's the Moto X. I went from a Galaxy GS4, tried the GS5. It was a piece of crap compared to this thing. This thing is a powerhouse. It is built so much better than a Samsung phone. I've had 3, the GS3, GS4, and the GS5, and this is by far a superior piece of equipment.
Now, Andrew's a big phone guy.
Yeah, the Moto X is a good phone. That's a great phone.
This is a solid phone. The only reason why I didn't get it before is because I'm not crazy about the small battery, but so far I've had it in my hand I've been using it for maybe 45 minutes. I literally just got back from the phone store, and this thing is beautiful. I wanted pure Android. I wanted a good radio for reception for the signal, which is the main reason I got this, because the place I live in now, I moved a few months back. I can't get a good signal. I miss phone calls.
What didn't you like about the Samsung S5?
What's that?
What didn't you like about the S5?
Here's what I don't like about the S5. Number one, it feels flimsy. They've always felt plasticky, and you know what I'm talking about. I mean, they're nice phones aesthetically. They're pleasing, but they just feel cheap. And the two best phones for build quality, as far as I'm concerned, have always been Motorola's and Nokia's, and especially the Nokia's from back in the day. But the radios in both phones and the overall build quality have just been fantastic. And this is the first time I've been with a Motorola in probably 5 years, and I'm really glad I got this.
No, the Moto X is a great phone. You picked a good one.
And I've gotten to the point where I'm not crazy about the TouchWiz on Samsung. In fact, on my GS4, I wiped it and put pure Android, just like the Google Play Edition on it.
Why not? Have you looked into the Nexus 6? The Google.
You know what? It's not available right now in Canada. It's coming. But you can't get it, and I might take this back and get that when it comes back when it comes out, but I'm not a huge fan of these giant phones. It's like, just get a tablet for crying out loud.
I've gone to a 5.5-inch phone. I can't go back. Once you go to the big phone.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm tempted. When the 6 comes out, I'll go look at it, and if I want to change it.
Once they get to the 5.5 inches,
that's it.
It's all over.
No turning back.
That's what she said.
That's what she said.
But you know, it's a great phone. It's solid. I really like it.
Well, I'm happy with my iPhone. I have an iPhone 5S. I'm not upgrading until I need to. There's I guess it's called forced obsolescence.
Yeah.
And eventually that phone is going to bust, and I'm gonna be forced to get a new one. But as it is, I really, it's fine for me.
Yeah.
So.
But I'm kind of I don't know if you know this. I'm kind of a geek myself. But and I know Andrew, you are.
What?
But,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yes, I am. I am a geek.
I can't
like my
believe
TVs, which I'm about to get a new one, and I like my phones, and I like my computers. So.
Spencer bought a new TV because I told him his TV was too small.
What do you get?
He got a 65-inch Samsung. It's a very nice TV.
Good TV.
I got a 65-inch LED H7150 series Samsung.
The 87. Yeah, that's a good series.
1080p.
4K. Yeah.
No, I didn't get the 4K. I was advised not to get 4K.
Yeah, 4K. Well, they don't have any set standards yet. It's all everyone trying to do their own version.
It's also the 4K that we have right now. A lot of the 4K sets, they're not outputting really good 1080. And if your 1080, your full HD doesn't look good, what are you going to watch? It's not worth it.
Yeah. No, I'm actually really happy with it. I mean, the blacks on the Samsung are so deep and so rich. And I've been a Sony guy like forever, and this Samsung was a good purchase.
If I could find a Panasonic Z series plasma, I'll be happy.
You know what? I almost bought one. I bought I saw one. It's still like $900. It was a 55-inch. I almost bought it.
Jesus, man. See, I wasn't in the market for one before, but I should have bought one when I could have, because I mean, as far as blacks go, they're still superior. But
those Pioneers from a couple years ago are still going for crazy high.
Where's that?
The Pioneers from a couple years ago, before they stopped making sets, they're still going for like $1,200.
Yeah, and there's no way I'll be able to find one here in Canada. But anyway, yeah, it is what it is. So, Andrew, congratulations on joining the club.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I look forward to the story, Spencer, from his latest visit.
Absolutely, man. And I'll be in touch.
Any news that I missed out on?
Absolutely not. Joe from Staten Island doesn't call in anymore, so we have no news about future treatments.
He doesn't call in anymore.
No, I think he quit.
Did a comet hit the eastern seaboard or something? Or
he quit. He's upset, I think. What am I going to do? You know what? I'm glad. I prefer that he quit than I had to fire him.
Well, is he going to look for?
It's kind of like a breakup that took 17 years.
A divorce, actually. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll find another source for news, or maybe he'll come back.
He'll come back. He'll come back. All right, Joe.
I predict he'll be back.
Yeah, I do too. All right, man. Listen, thanks for the call. I'm going to close up shop.
No worries.
All right, take care.
To you guys.
All right, you too. Guys, I want to thank you guys for hanging out. Sorry that we started a little late, but we hung out till 5 minutes after the hour. Unfortunately, Andrew Zarian is falling asleep. I think
I'm just a little tired.
I think his first Propecia it fucked him up.
It did. My left testicle's a little numb.
It's a little numb right now. He's having a little painful. See, you know what? People are going to take that in context. It's going to be
on
now.
I just said that. It hurts a little bit.
Yeah. It does.
A little bit.
And how do you think? Do you think your body even digested the pill yet?
Yes.
You do. So you think that it went through?
I think
it went. You digested it. It went through into your stomach, and now it's in your bloodstream.
Now it's in my bloodstream.
After.
Yeah. Now I have fog brain.
So you have fog brain, now you have pains in your balls.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that'll be.
Listen, I'm gonna be. It's gonna be an adventure for all of us. I'm gonna call in every week, and I'll give an update.
I actually think that it's going to be a non-event.
It could be a non-event, but I mean, at least it's documented, right?
Absolutely. All right, guys. Listen, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Andrew Zarian, great to have you on the program. Thank you so much. Oh, you got it, man. We are going to probably be here next week, I think, but maybe we'll post that on Bald Truth Talk forums. Let me go out the websites. If you are interested in viewing archives of this broadcast, you can check us out on thebaldtruth.com. If you are interested in speaking with other hair loss sufferers or communicating with hair loss sufferers online, check out our message forums, which is baldtruthtalk.com. Just remember, take everything. Well, you're flexing, dude. Everything.
Big Biceps wants me to flex a muscle.
Everything. Let me shoot Andrew. Flex your muscle for Big Biceps.
There you go. That's for you.
Everything with a grain of salt. That's what I was trying to say. If you are considering surgical hair restoration, whatever it is you're considering, it's great to, go to the forums, get some information, learn about what's happening in the world of hair loss, see before and after images, stuff like that. But honestly, man, guys, do not trust information that you get from anonymous sources. If you are considering surgery, meet with the surgeons, check out the International Alliance of Hair Restoration Surgeons, meet with patients, do your own due diligence. And if you want to get information on hair loss and different treatments for hair loss, you could always go to the American Hair Loss Association. That's americanhairloss.org. Until next time, be strong, God bless, and thank you so much for listening.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry for any inconvenience you may have been put to prior to the programme, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. And if you could now leave by the exits at the rear, that'd be splendid. Thank you. Good night.